Do you think CEOs can teach you better than professors? Or do you think you have a chance of learning directly from CXOs and CEOs in this lifetime? Hi, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, then I talk about all things MBA, all things consulting, many a times personal finance and lifestyle. So feel free to actually hit on the subscribe and the notification button so that you get notified whenever I'm on a chai break and I'm sharing my experiences and many a times taking a leaf from my book. So it's a very interesting question. Can CEOs teach you better than professors? And to answer that question, and to also answer, do you actually have a chance of learning directly from CEOs in this lifetime? We are going to be kind of once again do a inductive reasoning, which is that we start with the context first. Why have we landed in a situation where we are right now? Then we have a 3-point analysis. What are the 3 things that we really need as students when we are trying to advance our career? And then last but not the least, we will come up with an answer. So let's start with point number 1, which is the context. Which is that if you go back in history, and I've been reading a lot of anthropology, a lot of philosophy, a lot of polity, and also pure play history, you would find that the kind of teaching, the kind of curriculum, and the kind of education that existed almost 500 or 1000 of years ago always existed for the kings and queens. That meant that the kind of knowledge that kings wanted their sons and daughters to get was actually not about apprenticeship. It was not about the jobs in the market. Those were really different skills, and hence there were different gurukuls, or there were different schools that really just taught skills to these kings and many a times to be queens as well. And then of course came the Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution, as the word says, revolutionized the entire ecosystem, how society was constructed, how jobs were taking place, who would pick up which job instead of the caste. Now people could actually pick up job based on their skill. Of course, the Industrial Revolution started in Europe and then trickled down across the continents and geographies. For the first time, people were really learning skills through the apprenticeship model, which meant that if you wanted to become a plumber, if you had to actually work in the industry, then you were learning things from people who had done that skill, who had done that job before, right? So that was for the first time you realized that, hey, people like who were not just kings and queens or sons and daughters of kings and queens could actually do much more than what was assigned by the society. But the unfortunate matter of truth was the school education ecosystem, or any education ecosystem, actually saw a rise of new age teachers. And who were these new age teachers? These were the teachers who had done a lot of research in pure play science and pure play arts, be it physics, chemistry, or engineering, or your political science or history, right? So that meant that when people like you and I in the modern economy went to school, we actually learned from these researchers or academic professors who were really good at actually advancing our research, who were really good at telling us what their research had probably taught us, but perhaps they kind of might have actually fallen short to actually advance our career, right? So that's my view of how the history, and it's a very brief view. I have created an amalgamated view after reading so many books, and please don't mind my throat today. I'm going through a throat infection. But coming back to the entire point, which is that now that we understand and appreciate this context, how has entire education ecosystem, or how has entire schooling ecosystem really evolved over time? Let's really answer the question, can CEOs teach you better than academic professors? There are 3 points to be considered when you want to answer that question. What are those 3 points? So point number 1 is the pure play skill. I do understand that not everyone want to work in the market. Few people want to become PhD students. Few people want to become artisans or work in art and many other things, right? But we cannot ignore the fact that more than 90% of the people want to work in the market. It could be government, private sector, or NGO. And we have to establish and agree to the fact that we need to solve for at least the majority, and then of course for the minority of the population as well. That means that you and I, it's obvious today that the kind of skill that is being imparted, or the learning that we take through those academic researchers is falling short. The massive unemployment numbers, people not being able to prepare for interviews through school education curriculum and relying on other alternatives is on a rise, and that shows that professors are falling short. And of course, because CEOs have worked in the market, these senior managers have worked in the market, they exactly know, they practice that skill, right? He or she is a practitioner, and hence they can actually teach their skill better than any academician. So that's my view on point number 1, which brings to a very important point, which is around the change in the skills in the market. So because I'm from BCG, we had actually done a very interesting research study around future 2025 skills and future 2030 skills. This project was actually done in association with World Economic Forum and LinkedIn. And if you look at those future 2030 and 2025 skills, you would realize that a lot of skills, even if a lot of mentors or practitioners or so-called gurus are imparting, they are going to fall short. A lot of coding work will become automatized or mechanized, in future, right? That means that a lot of jobs are going to exist in the tech space, in artificial intelligence, cloud computing, IoT and robotics, and of course in the soft skills will lie in a lot of problem solving, critical reasoning, negotiation and communication. That means that people who are CEOs, senior managers and CXOs, because they are working in the market, they are very closely in sync with what is the skill that is needed in the market, right? And what is the upward trend and what is the changing trend. They will be actually teach you better than those academic professors who are probably doing good work, but they are on a tangent. They are not synchronized with the needs not just of the market today but of the market tomorrow as well. Which brings us towards the third point, which is my favorite. Eventually your and mine objective at the end of every degree or any upskilling program is what? Get a goddamn job, right? Get a really good job of your dreams in your sector with your dream role in your job in the geography that you want. And who would provide these jobs to you? Is it the academic professors who would provide those jobs to you? No, right? It is the CEOs. They will eventually be hiring for their own companies, and hence learning from a CEO, CXO or a senior manager in these vice presidents, directors is way more beneficial for you to actually learn from directly these CEOs and CXOs rather than academic professors. This is completely my view, and I very well understand that there is a role that can be still played by academic professors and researchers in the market, but the need of the hour is that we are falling short in terms of upskilling. We are falling short in terms of providing the relevant job and the updated upskilling to our youngsters, not just in India but abroad as well. And hence my view is that CEOs can actually teach you better than academic professors. And now answering the second question, can you learn directly from the CEOs and CXOs in this lifetime? The answer is definitely yes. Of course, at my own education venture, we run an alternative to international MBA. The global CEO of McKinsey & Company, the global chairman of BCG. In fact, I'm right now, as I shoot this video, I'm in talks with the global CEO, not just Indian CEO, global CEO of one of the leading MBBs to come and teach at our platform. The senior partners and senior leaders of BCG, the Amazon South Asia president, and I have literally lost the count of number of people who have come, taken out time, and literally in a Harvard case style format, not in a lecture based learning. The magic happens, my friend, when you actually engage in a discussion, when your view is questioned by someone else and you can politely and humbly question someone else's views as well. So yes, you have an opportunity to learn directly from CEOs and CXOs because we want to solve for future 2030 skills amongst the youth, because we want to solve for the jobs for the youngsters, and hence it makes sense for us to invite the CEOs and CXOs to teach a global governance initiative rather than invite any academic professor. Once again, I'm on a chai break. Those are my views. I'm happy to hear your views in the comment. Always there is no right or wrong answer. Once again, please don't mind my throat. I'm going through a sore throat right now, but I really hope that you appreciate that I'm taking out time for all of you. With that, I hope you like the video, you share it with your friends for all the cool things that we are talking on my YouTube channel. Please take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and be kind to each other. Bye. I'll see you all soon.